Hello and welcome everyone to our STACKIT system demo in December 2023. It's my pleasure to welcome you. My name is Christian Neubert. I'm product manager at STACKIT and I'm really looking forward to introduce you the latest outcomes of our product teams. We received a lot of positive feedback regarding our last session. This is why we are really keen to continue with it. But because the year 2023 is drawing to a close, it will be the last system demo of 2023. But don't worry about it, we already got some presents for you available right now. Presents in the way of our outcomes that we want to present you today. The improvements that we are showing today are really affecting the whole user journey. It starts from the registration in STACKIT. It goes over to new features that we have available for you in our existing products, and we also have brand new products available for you. So at the end of today's session, you will know more about the features that we have in STACKIT for you available. You will get an outlook, where is STACKIT heading for, and for that, yes, you will be even more eager to use STACKIT as your cloud service provider as usual. But before we come to the demonstration part, please give me 1-2 minutes more to give you some general information. The stuff that we are showing you today is shown to you in a live event. So not only the event itself is live, everything that will be shown is in the live system as well. So everything is real and honest here. Everything can be used directly from you after you're logged into STACKIT, so you can use all the products directly and all the features that you see today. The second thing is that we will record that session. So later on, we will upload that session to YouTube, that you can have a look at it twice. So if you missed something, you can have a look at it. Or if you just want to forward it to one of your colleagues, that they have the possibility to have a look on all the great stuff that we showed to you today. And the third thing, maybe the most important one, is that we are really interested in your opinion. For that, we created a survey for you. The QR code will be displayed that you can follow it. It will also come to the chat. So please take that survey to give us feedback about the session itself, because we want to improve it, but more about the products, about the features that you see today. Please tell us if you love the stuff, because we're happy about that. But more important, the stuff that you want to have to be improved or you miss something, then please write it down. We did it the last time also in the same way, and we already incorporated your feedback into our products already. So maybe you're the lucky guy out there who will see the input that you gave last time, this time in the system demo. Yes, and now we're directly before the demo topics. There's one more thing, because I told you it starts really from the registration, where the features are new for you. Until now, if you want to join STACKIT as a company, because yes, we're in the B2B business, you have to contact our sales guys, and they enable you to go on STACKIT and that you can use it. From now on, you have the possibility to self-register your company. For example, if you go on our STACKIT webpage, on the upper right corner, you can see the registration button where you can self-register your company. Everything is automated there, and you can use it from now on. And yeah, then you are at the point where you can create your project and where you can access all our products. For example, you can access our databases, which gives me the transition to our first guest here. It will be a database topic. It will be no big surprise, because I have Richard Siegmann here on the stage. Richard, maybe some out there will know you already because you uploaded some YouTube videos regarding MongoDB Flex, about how to use it, about basic stuff about MongoDB. So I think some know you already, but it would be great if you can start your demo topic by introducing yourself briefly, maybe some words about your division, and then we can start with the demonstration.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris, and thank you for being here. Today, I will give you updates about our Flex databases. Me as a person, I'm responsible for the database portfolio here at STACKIT, and we are trying to improve our portfolio as good as possible. And as Chris already mentioned, if you have feedback, feel free to contact us. Today, we have updates about MongoDB Flex and PostgreSQL Flex, and we will announce a new database product in a beta state. So if you are highly interested in that new product, feel free to reach out to us. Last time, my POs, Jens and Jürgen, were here to launch the new services, and today I will give you the newest updates. And now we will jump directly into the portal. We will start with MongoDB Flex. Last time, we announced that you have the possibility to get metrics inside of your instance. And today, I'm glad to show you that you have on the left side the metrics point. And if you are selecting it, you can see several KPIs regarding your instance, like the disk IOPS, the CPU, memory consumption, the utilization, your database storage. This is the first thing. So you have your performance insights about your instance. You can select your granularity, you can select databases if you have several databases on your instance, and you can zoom in to specific time frames to gather all that information to see if you are running out of resources or anything else. So this is the first new feature which is available for you. Also, we have received a request to be able to create several users and several instances or databases inside of one instance. So as you can see here, it's a prepared instance called multi-user, and if we go into the user section, we will see plenty of users. For example, Anne. Anne has her own database. She has the read and write permission, and I was creating a user Maike with her own database, and there is a Maike 2. You know, I'm not that creative, and Maike 2 is also able to read and write on Maike's database. Everything in one instance, so you have that capability now with the MongoDB Flex service. Also, we have a new nice feature for you to scale down your instance. If you have the requirement that you have to scale down your instance for resource perspective or your system is not used, you can optimize your costs here at STACKIT and go to the flavor endpoint on that left side, and then you are able to change your instance. Currently, we are running here on that instance on 1 CPU, 4 GB RAM, and now we will change it to 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM, because, for example, right now at that time, the system is not highly used. If you are changing your flavor, you will have a short disruption of your service, and we will do it right now. The update of the instance flavor was successful, as we can see it here in the portal. And if we go to the overview, it's processing and it will be scaled down to your requirements, what you are wishing for. This was one way to scale your system, but also the other way around was prepared by my colleagues, and I'm really thankful for that, to be able to scale up. So if we go to the flavors endpoint, you can see, depending on your system setup, and this is really important for MongoDB, that you are able to scale up and down a single instance, and also the same for the replica. But you are not allowed, and it's not possible to change from a single instance to a replica or vice versa. And now we will change our instance, which is currently running on 2 CPUs and 8 GB RAM, to a bigger flavor, like 4 CPUs and 32 GB RAM. Also, a disruption will occur. The request was successful. We will see that our instance is now in processing. Oh, it's already done, so really fast. Yeah, also, what is really nice, we have changed here our portal, so now you are able to download and gather the documentation of the MongoDB Compass as a client tool to access your database. What we have also finished in the last weeks is an integration of MongoDB Flex in the, sorry for that, in the Cloud Foundry. So now you are able to get your MongoDB Flex via the Cloud Foundry, so that you can make use of both topics. So these are the updates regarding MongoDB, and now we will change to Postgre Flex. Last time we just said that there will be a cloning instance, and now we will choose one of the instances, and here on the right side, behind the 3 dots, you have the ability to clone your instance. This is really easy, and this can be used for several use cases. For preparing a pre-prod environment, or if you have a point-in-time recovery requirement, you can use that. Select the date, select the time. You are able to also change it here to 16, for example. You can change your performance class, the disk size, and then you can order your instance with a point-in-time recovery. So this is the first thing. And now you see the creation of our clone instance is starting. We also have a new opportunity, and this is really good in cooperation with the cloning. You are now able to edit your name in the overview. And as you can see, accidentally, I just made a failure. Instead of an O, I typed in 0. I will change it now, directly save it, and my instance has now the real name. Something is wrong. So these are the new opportunities, especially when you are checking out that instance here with that scale up date, time, and clone. It's not really nice, so now you are able to rename your instances. Also, what is really important for you out there, you're running maybe on a version 12 or on a version, I was choosing the wrong instance because I trained it before. Maybe you are running on a version 12 instance, like here in the example, and you want to execute a major upgrade. So go to the Edit button, select your version 15, for example, because you want to make a major update, save it, and now in the background your instance will be changed to version 15. This will also lead to a short disruption, and then you have everything in place. Scaling up and scaling down is also necessary for Postgre. And on Postgre side, we have a really great advantage because you have also here the flavors endpoint. You can change your instance, which is now, let me check it, on 16 CPUs, 128 GB RAM, and 3 replicas. You are able to change it to a smaller instance, and you are also able to change it to a single instance. For productive environments, replica instances are highly recommended, but this is something that you can do right now if you choose something accidentally wrong. Also, scaling up is possible, and now we will do the way vice versa. We have 1 replica, 2 CPUs, 4 GB RAM. We go to the flavors endpoint, change it to not maybe the biggest one, change it to a replica set, order it. Of course, a short disruption is the consequence out of that, and then everything will be done for your instance. We are currently working also on a Cloud Foundry integration. It's not finished, but it will occur in the next weeks. And so these are the main features which I was able to say to you today. And as I said in the beginning, there is a new database coming up. In this MVP, so in the next 3 months, we are highly working on our release of the SQL server Flex. So this is an MS SQL server inside of STACKIT, which you can use. And if you want to participate to that beta program, please reach out to us, and then we will prepare everything for you to be able to use that new service. And I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah.
Hey, Richard, really cool to hear. So these are a lot of new things that you brought to us today, because you bring news for MongoDB, for Postgre, and then that big announcement also. That's really great. I want to, if I summarize the MongoDB stuff, where you have the possibility with the metrics and also the flexibility with scale up and scale down. There was one question regarding that. So regarding the first topic about the metrics, if there a possibility to export these metrics to Argus also?
I think we are able to do that. So if you need that to have your data inside of Argus, please create a service ticket at a STACKIT support portal, and my colleagues in the background will get in touch with you to enable that.
Yeah, and the good thing is also, of course, you can use Argus and you can take all the functions of Argus, but without Argus, you also have now the possibility to see it without it. So first metrics are available, and I think that's also an advantage that was not there before.
Yeah, the good thing is you have now so-called easy KPIs to see what is happening in your instance. Argus is making your life much more easier. So I highly appreciate to use Argus, because you have a great service there.
Cool. Okay. Then, thank you very much, Richard, for that great presentation. Maybe some question will arise. So for you here in the chat, you can raise your questions. Richard will be available and will answer it. And for that, I can say thank you for that great demonstration. And then we come to the next topic.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
And goodbye.
Yeah. And the next guys who will come up on the stage are Simon Stier and Patrick Hoss from the DNS team. Hello, great that you are here.
Hello.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah, hi, great that you're here. I think it would be great if we can proceed in the same way. Richard, introduce yourself. Please do the same. Introduce yourself briefly, and also maybe some words about DNS team.
Yeah, hi, Chris. Happy to be here. Hello, everyone out there. I'm Simon Stier. I'm working as a cloud engineer for the central services domain at STACKIT. And I'm responsible for two STACKIT products. It's a STACKIT Secrets Manager that we will also see later today, and the DNS service.
Hi, I'm Patrick Hoss. I'm also in the central services domain like Simon. Back in the days, I was in the Argus product. Like you have seen probably before, I also presented for them quite often. Now I joined the DNS team, and I'm here to present some cool new features.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that you are here, because with your service, we can see really how STACKIT built products, because you were already there with DNS, where you showed us first functionalities that are available via API. And I think now we can see the evolvement of the product and can see here some new features, right?
Yes, exactly. To give you a rough summary about our service, a DNS service in general is needed to resolve domain addresses. So all of you probably working with URLs, and within these URLs you have domain names that needs to be resolved so that a client is able to connect to the destination via an IP address. We build up our service we build up a public DNS service, which is redundant, of course, high available, and within multiple locations. And we want to show us today a short demo. We prepared a small application and want to make this application reachable via our DNS service. This application is running in the Kubernetes environment of STACKIT. It's the STACKIT Kubernetes engine. And yeah, Patrick, do you want to log into the portal right now?
Of course, let's jump right into it and see if it works. So here we are in our portal, we see our dashboard, and now we want to go to our DNS service. It's located under the network topic, and here we see already a zone existing, so let's create a new one. Let's call this the Patrick zone. And then I see use free STACKIT subdomains. What is that?
Exactly. This is a feature that we developed in the last months. Usually to use a domain name system, you also need a domain, right? So you have to buy or own a domain that you can delegate to a DNS system and use it. In our case, we want to make this application be public available fast. That's why we have registered these 5 top-level domains and have integrated them into our product, so that you as a customer can easily create a subdomain within these domains and can easily go online with this name.
So let's choose one of them. I think I go with STACKIT Rocks because we are rocking. Haha. All right, so it's creating and it's already created, so that's kind of great. Now we want to create a record set that is pointing to our load balancer in the SKI cluster. So we are creating a record set with the name web. So our application will be accessible via the web system demo stackit.rocks. We want to create an A record because we have an IPv4 address. It's this below, and that's the address of our load balancer. So if we are resolving it, the request goes to the load balancer and then to our application in the Kubernetes cluster. So let's test it out if it works. And it looks kind of beautiful. So we accessed our new highly sophisticated application via our free STACKIT subdomain. So is there a way to automate this process if we are deployed on a Kubernetes cluster?
Yes, what you saw right now is how you can create a record within our STACKIT portal manually. But of course, we also want to do this automatically. And therefore, we have the integration for our product within the the Kubernetes external DNS operator. We extended it upstream to be able to create DNS records right in our product. And Patrick will now demonstrate how this will work.
So first we need a zone in our STACKIT DNS. That's why we have this existing zone. System demo runs on stackit.cloud. Then we of course have our Kubernetes cluster where an application is running. And now we need to create an ingress. So I'll quickly show you how an ingress is look like. So we're creating a Kubernetes resource from kind ingress, we give it a name, and then we need to give it a host here. The host is later on the domain which is resolved publicly. So Chris, do you want to give it a name?
I'm not that creative. Take Chris.
All right, let's go with Chris. We also need to insert it in our TLS host, and then we can create it. Go to my console, insert it, and then we see it's created. So I can quickly give you some more information what is now happening. As Simon mentioned, it's an Kubernetes operator, so it will watch all the ingress resources that are available in the entire cluster. And now it finds the system demo ingress external DNS. Then it's sending a request to our DNS service, listing all the entries in our zone. So it sees the web system demo is there, the SOA record is there, and so on. What it doesn't see is our Chris record. Therefore, it will create it. So if we are now reloading it, we probably see our Chris record. Let's try to resolve that. And it works, which is great. So as a final note, I want to highlight our second integration, which is the cert manager integration. Here we see it's encrypted, so we already have a certificate. And this is possible because we created a wildcard certificate previously. So all the records inside our zone are encrypted. So if you want to learn more about it, check out our customer docu that's described in detail.
Hey guys, very cool to see that evolvement in your product, how it goes on, to have that subdomains now available just to get very fast to an entry to a URL that I can use. Thank you very much for that and for showing that. It would be also cool if you can stay now in the background to answer the questions. That would be great. And we continue a little bit with DNS, because you showed us that you came from API. Now we have the possibility to order it via the portal as well, but there are even more options to order it from now on. And that will be our next topic. So I'd like to thank you. And we have a change on the stage now. Philip will come up then.
Yep. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So you may be interested in what will be the next way to order your DNS service. We will talk about right now with Philip Seitz. Philip, great that you are here. Before we will reveal the secret, I think also it would be great if you can introduce yourself short and in which team you're working.
Sure, thank you. Thanks, Chris, for the introduction. My name is Philip, as you already mentioned. I do work for the STACKIT customer touchpoints, the engineering there. I'm responsible as engineering manager for products such as the portal, which we already saw today. But I don't want to speak too much about the portal today. Today is all about the new latest addition to our environment, which is the STACKIT Terraform provider and the STACKIT Go SDK. So basically, we created an Terraform provider, which has the Go SDK as a foundation. I don't need to have too much of an introduction of Terraform, I think, because it's very known to everybody, and you are aware that we can now leverage the infrastructure as code capabilities of Terraform within STACKIT. And for this, I would say, let's dive into the code and have a look how it looks in real life.
Yeah, great.
So what you see here, I already prepared a project in the portal. For the Terraform provider to work, we do need to have a service account in place. So I already prepared this as well, using the recommended service account key flow. I already prepared some. And if we have a look at the bare minimum setup for such a Terraform provider to run, we can see the setup here. We have the introduction above. We specified it to use the latest STACKIT Cloud Terraform provider which is available. Let me run the Terraform in it real quick while continuing speaking about. So we have the STACKIT service account key and the private key already prepared. And because this setup looks very empty right now, let's create some resources. And as you already mentioned, Chris, we can, of course, also introduce or use the latest DNS setup that we just saw previously. So for this, I would say let's create a DNS zone first. Let's call it system demo. For it, we need to specify the project ID, which will be the locally prepared project ID already. We need to have a name. This will be the display name. Let's call it system demo. And of course, the DNS name, which will be, I don't know, system demo also .stackit rocks. Because a zone is as is a bit boring, we will also create a record set within this zone, and there we can see the dependency between two resources within Terraform provider. So let's go with a record set. By the way, in the meanwhile, you can see that we already provide support for basically almost all services within STACKIT, most of the or all of the database services, and more services to come also in the future there yet. So let's go with the record set. Let's say we will have a www record set. We will have to specify the project ID once again. And then, of course, we want to reference the zone, and this is where Terraform comes into place, where we can reference it from a previously created resource, which will be the system demo zone ID. And we will need to specify the type, which will be an A record. Of course, the name, which could be something like this. And most importantly, of course, the records, which I will go for some dummy data here. If we do apply these Terraform changes, we should see the resources that will be created. And if we confirm, We should see them in the portal as well in the DNS section. Give me a second. So here we go with the new DNS zone, and within the zone we also have the new record set, of course, created there.
Right. Great to have that in place.
Yeah. So basically, what I want to say there is a huge shout out also to the community, also to the open source community at Schwarz, which provided already an initial version of this Terraform provider, and also from the Go SDK. We happily made the big step to now also have this officially provided within the STACKIT repository or the STACKIT GitHub account. So please feel free to check it out, and we can't wait to see the Terraform provider and the Go SDK in action, and to see you and the community build upon our great APIs.
Thanks, Philip. Really great. Really cool to have that in place. You already said it. Thank you out there for the community for the first steps. And now we took it and make our own Terraform provider. And great to have that in place. I think you will enhance it with more and more functionality in the time. And I think also if you have feedback out there, reach out to Philip. We are really glad to hear from you, and just go out and use it. It's available right now. Okay. Thank you, Philip. Please stay in the also there for questions if something will arise.
All right. Thanks.
Thank
Thanks
you
for having us.
I will not stay alone here on the stage. Now 2 persons are coming up who were already there. Please, Henry Bogner, Manuel Stein, great that you are here again.
Hi, Chris. Great to
Hi.
be here again.
Hi.
Yeah, it would be great if we can proceed like before. If you can start with a short introduction of yourself and also have a word about your team.
Yes, sure. Hi together. My name is Henry Bogner. I'm a product owner for Argus and the Secrets Manager. Argus is our monitoring solution, STACKIT, where you can shop your metrics, logs, and traces you can ship to. And the Secrets Manager is a great place to store sensitive data like passwords and configuration files. Next to me is Manuel Stein. He is also a part of Argus and the Secrets Manager, and he's working there as a developer and is building our lovely products.
So thanks for your introduction. So you're working for Argus and Secrets Manager. So you brought us improvements also in both products?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, cool. Then you can directly jump in.
Sure. So for Argus, we reacted on customer feedback and we raised and removed limits. So in the past, we had limits for targets, for example. These limits are now gone. So you can add as many targets as you like. Besides that, we have also removed the limits for dashboards and organizations at Grafana. So you can store unlimited dashboards there, so more value for the same price. And we updated to Grafana 10. So you have now the latest security fix and the newest features. But there's also more, which Manuel will show you. So we have now even more comfort with the single sign-on and the possibility to maintain access control lists via the portal. But let's see that in live in action.
Yeah, thank you, Henry. I've prepared a small demo Argus instance right here for you, so I can show you what is meant. And it's really simple. The single sign-on works for every new instance by default. And when you enter your link you got in a portal, and you see now a new button down here, sign in with STACKIT. And if you click this button, then you see you can choose your STACKIT account you want to authenticate with. And then after just a few seconds, you have access to your Argus instance. And you can see up here, this is really my identity, my STACKIT account I have used to sign in. And so my permissions I have for this one are also mapped respectively, and you can see everything basically in this tutorial in here. So how the permissions are working, how to set it up for your existing instance, and as I said, it is enabled per default for every new instance. And besides that, we have also introduced now a possibility to main the ACLs via the UI. And this is done via this new field access control here. And when I now enter an IP range in here, like this, and save it. So now basically what have I done? I have now created an ACL IP range that points only to the local machine. So 127 is reserved for the local space. And this basically means I've logged out myself from the machine. Basically, I've logged out everybody from the machine. Fortunately, I can still operate on it because I can still control the machine via the portal in here. But when I try to access the machine now or my Grafana instance, then it will look like the following. So, just 1 second, because now I don't have access anymore. So I get this information that I'm forbidden, I'm not authorized, and I can simply just revoke this or revert this by removing the ACL range again, and now everybody has access onto it again. There is still the access control from Grafana itself in place, obviously, so it's not like your instance got insecure through it. But now, since I have removed the IP range, there is no IP blocking anymore in place, and when I now go onto the link again, I have my beautiful Grafana instance here visible. Yeah, that's it for Argus.
Very cool to see that. So more functionalities for the same price. The security is enhanced. You know, ACL was available there, but now you can use it over the portal. So great, great to see that.
Exactly. And for the secrets manager, we have access control lists too, and even an audit log integration. And I mean, if you think about sensitive passwords, I think you want to have a look who is interacting with your secrets manager, and therefore the audit log integration is now in place. So you can see your changes and interactions there. And let's have a short look also to ACL and audit log integration at the secrets manager.
Yeah, same as for Argus. I have already prepared a demo instance I can just use for now, and I've also created a demo user up front, so we have it really simple and easy right now. And for that, I have prepared my user in this document here, and I will just copy and paste the credentials. Don't worry, they are not valid after this demo anymore, so don't even try to write them down. But you can see I'm able to log in. And now let's set up the ACL. Now this feature is, since our API first approach is only available in the API so far, and for that I will just copy my access token I got from the portal, from the service accounts tab, and then I've already prepared a curl request here. I can just send this, and you will see now it got successfully created. And when I try to log in, I have to copy the credentials one more time. Then you are able to see that the ACL is also working for the secrets manager, like so. I'm no longer permitted to do so. And like that, same as Argus, I can also delete the ACL again, and one more curl request later. Now I'm able to sign in again. And simple as that, you can set up access controls for your secret manager right now. And now let's see one more thing, and this is the audit log integration. Since we have now created and deleted ACLs, we should also be able to see this in the audit log. And for that, let me just search for the secrets manager, so I only see the relevant stuff for me. And as you can see, just right now at 10:37, we have 2 new events, and one event was the instance ACL created event, and in here you can see information about it. So basically, what's the IDR, have I said? So what ID range, IP range, sorry, onto which resource. So this is the secret manager instance, and in which project was it set up. And also, respectively, I have the deletion event in here. Same, I can see the ACL ID, I can see in which project and which resource, and I also see that it was successful. And with this audit log integration, you can see basically every instance, user, or ACL event that has been done by the API.
Hey, that's great. I love to see that all in the live system, that what you've done in the last weeks, in the last months, and what you've created. It's now available, and you show it, and it just works really smooth. Really cool to see that. Yeah, thank you also on that outlook, or not outlook, on that live system that we have here in Secrets Manager. So thank you very much, guys, for being here. Please also stay backstage, have a look at the chat. Maybe some question will arise there. Thank you.
We do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Before we call the next guys on the stage, I have one more little information for you, because we're talking, like we did now, talking about that you get more functionality for the same price. So that's true, but there is one more thing to mention on that, because at the moment, if you have to pay, you have your invoice settings at the moment in your customer account, but there will be more for you also available. So not it's getting cheaper or you get more functionality, you will also have another payment method in place. It's a kind of an outlook, because that's not available right now, but from mid of December, you will be able to add credit card also as your payment method in the portal. So if you go to your profile, to your organization, you can add this, and you're not able to only add one credit card. You can do it multiple. You can add multiple credit cards. For some out there, it's really, the more easy way to do so. And so if you combine it then later on with the self-registration, which is already available, and then you put in credit card as a payment method, you are really ready to go as 1, 2, 3, I would say. And then you can choose our services and can enjoy STACKIT. And that's the little thing I want to give you so in between. And now our two next guests coming on the stage, Samuel Kunkel and Eric Petri. So it would be great if you can up, please. And I can tease you a little bit. Now really heavy white presents are in our luggage that will come up. But before we come to that heavy white stuff, it would be great if you can introduce yourself also. So please go ahead with that.
Hey Chris, thanks for having us here. My name is Samuel. I'm a cloud developer at the Infrastructure as a Service department, working at compute instance stuff.
Yeah, my name is Eric Petri. I'm also a cloud developer at the IaaS team in the compute section. Basically the same as Samu.
So great that you're here, and you want to make your hands a little bit dirty by showing us great new features or products that we have. I don't know how to call it, but you will give us insights right now.
Yes, we have prepared lots of stuff. We will have 3 topics, but to not spoiler, we will just directly start into the first topic with Eric showing us some stuff.
Yes, cool. I will show you today the ordering and the usage of VMs with the NVIDIA GPU flavor. So as the first step, I will show you how to create such a virtual machine via the OpenStack CLI. So I have here my server, the name, I called it STACKIT Demo, with a basic Ubuntu 20.04 image and the N114DG1 flavor, which means it is a flavor with one single GPU. And I just press enter, it will be created. And also in the meantime, so we don't have to wait until everything is up, I already prepared a VM with one GPU. So you can see here in this terminal, I made a typo. So in this CLI, you can see that there is one NVIDIA A100 GPU, and in the via the command with lspci, also you can also see how what drivers are installed and more information about the PCI device that is at this slot. So here we see that there is a kernel module, but this is not the driver module. So I would go on in this case and install the driver. This happens by downloading a installation script from NVIDIA, provided by NVIDIA themselves, which installs the needed toolkit for the SMI, the Service Manager interface, and also the driver for better usage for the GPU. So in this case, it would have downloaded, and I would install the driver, but this would take a lot of time as there is a lot of stuff happening in the background. So I prepared a third VM which has 2 GPUs, and on which I already installed the driver. So from this point on, you can see that there are 2 NVIDIA A100, and I can also show the NVIDIA SMI, where you see a few more information, a few more detailed information about the GPUs, like usage, like the wattage that is used. And another cool thing with the NVIDIA SMI is that you can also show yourself some metrics. For example, like the total utilization as a percentage, or the temperature. Like you can see here, it's about 33 degrees Celsius, and as there is no real workload, it only uses a very, very small percentage of all the VRAM of the GPU.
Eric, that's so cool. You made it in a very technical way, but it's a technical thing, so it's the right way to show it like this. But we also can have some words about the options, about the possibilities the customer now have. So if they have real AI use cases, machine learning stuff to do, so now you have the possibility to do it on STACKIT, right?
Yes, exactly. That's the thing. You can, with the GPU, you can do lots of stuff, as you already said, concerning AI, like machine learning or any kind of model training, or in general, things that require a high computation load, and that require many flotation point calculations. So it's not a graphics card, but it's a processing unit. It's a graphics card for processing computation workload.
Great that you said here the base and for that. Cool, thank you.
Cool, thanks Eric. So now to keep it hot, we directly jump into the next topic. For that I will take a little bit of your time and tell you a little bit of ARM. What is ARM and what is it about ARM instances now available at STACKIT? For every one of us using a smartphone, you basically run an ARM processor all your day. ARM is a different CPU architecture in comparison to x86, which we normally use on servers and workstations. That is more built with focus on energy efficiency and low energy usage. Therefore, it's a very stripped down feature set, but it's very cost effective and also energy effective. And it's, like I said, it powers millions of devices on our smartphones, mostly independent of the vendor. So most of us use an ARM every day already. With this architectural mindset of lower feature set, but and also higher efficiency, there's now also hyperscaler CPUs available that provide these into the server world. So we have basically lots of cores for not that much of an energy cost. So it's still not as efficient as a smartphone, but it's way more efficient than an x86 in comparison to power usage at least. And but it's a stripped down feature set, and these are now available. And like I said before, it's a completely different instruction set on a CPU layer. So all your applications, even your complete operating system, needs to be compiled for this new architecture. At STACKIT now, I will show you how to order an ARM-based instance. For that, I will quickly show you my screen, and we will have a look in our portal. So within the portal, you can do lots of stuff. All the speakers beforehand showed lots of stuff in the portal, and we are now in the server wizard. And within our server wizard, which you find at the middle of the left scroll down feature, you can just create a regular server. And we will just call this now ARM order, because we just want to order an ARM server here quickly. For the operating system, like I mentioned, it needs to be cross-compiled, but most of the operating systems are publicly available as a cross-compiled and also will be available very soon in STACKIT. For now, we order for Ubuntu, we order the Ubuntu 20.04 LTS branch as ARM64. So we go ahead and choose one. And also now we get a little info box that we selected an ARM-based image, which is not compatible with an x86-based flavor, which would provide workload on an x86-based, like the ones are grayed out now here. So we need to switch to the ARM tab, and we choose we start at 1 core up to 30 cores, and we choose a 4-core machine and just order it. So this now takes a few seconds, and for that I would switch my screen to an already prepared machine. So we have here a screen that is already prepared. And on the left side, you will find an ARM demo machine. And on the right side, I've prepared a comparable x86 machine. And now I want to quickly show you what I've mentioned beforehand about the feature sets and flags, which are normally represented in the CPU flags. On the left side, if we have a look, we have an ARM or ARCH64, which is normally interchangeable between ARM64 or ARCH64. These all basically mean the same. We have a very stripped down feature set of CPU flags that are provided. On the right side, we will do the same on a regular x86 machine, which is built on an AMD processor. So this is an AMD EPYC server processor. So we have a look and we see the feature set here is way bigger. So we have here stuff like advanced vector instructions and all this stuff which is optimized in CPU, which is not optimized on ARM. But on ARM, we have way more cores for a low price. So most of the use cases for an ARM instance is using it as Kubernetes worker, scheduling lots of pods. We quickly, as I mentioned, every binary that is in use needs to be cross-compiled or compiled for that architecture. So we have a little look at just a random binary that is included in our Linux OS. We compare now the true binary, which is here compiled for ARCH64, and on the right side we see x86. That means basically whatever you want to run on that machine needs to be available as ARM64. Luckily, most of the stuff which is used on a regular basis is already available. So if you next time go to Docker Hub and have a quick look in the architecture flavor, there is listed stuff. I think the x86 is called IMD64 on Docker Hub, and you find also different ARM based options. So most of the regular standard containers we use is already available on Docker Hub as well. Like the same is for most of the stuff available at the vendor-based repositories for Ubuntu, Debian, CentOS, and all that stuff. So that concludes the little demo and the little informations about ARM. And just to keep it smooth, I would just continue with the third topic of our demonstration today. Resizing online volumes. We go away from CPU-based stuff and we move into storage. If you order a machine on STACKIT, you choose the size of your storage today. That size was, until our newest feature, was basically fixed until you want to do an offline migration. And also there was constraints. You cannot do it with the root volume. You could just do it with additional disks. Now you can resize your block device, which is in use, online. And that's a very cool feature because it means like you can extend a database, you can extend a file service that is just in use without an interruption. So we have a quick look at our machine here. We do list block devices on the machine. We see we have a 22 gig volume which is mounted for the slash. So we can also have a look what the file system says here. We see we have a size of 22 gig. So the block device is 22 gig and what we use is around also 22 gig. So now 22 gig, assume this is full. We want to resize that. Let's say we want to make a 25 gig. Just for demo's sake, normally you would resize that in a bigger step. So down here I have opened a open source API client, the same as Eric used, an OpenStack API client, the same as Eric used to create the NVIDIA GPU, which is basically the CLI used for talk to the OpenStack API, which is providing infrastructure services. And this I use and call the command OpenStack volume set, and I set it to a size of 25 gig. And I will do that, and that takes then a few seconds. And this will now, in the background, change the size of this block device live to a bigger size. There's a big constraint, you cannot shrink that size anymore. Also, your file system would not be happy with you shrinking that stuff. So let's see how fast we are. It is already resized. So you see now our first block device is now 25 gig instead of 22. What is still a manual part is you need to still grow the partition and resize your file system. But this is a standard non-disruptive operation I will not show today because that is done in the operating system. And you can also find this in the documentation. But the most important thing is now the thing that was disruptive, the resize of the block device, that is now can be now done online. I've also prepared a little demo for using this in Kubernetes because that is the coolest use case. For this, I've deployed a standard convoluted web server that everybody knows. We see down here and have a little bit of a look into it. It also has a persistent volume claim, which is down here and which is mounted with 20 gig. And what I also can do now, I can now switch to the PVC section. I'm using here K9S as my interface to talk to a Kubernetes cluster. I can edit the persistent volume claim, which is currently 20 gig. And I need really much storage. I resize it to 100 gig. And then let's see, we go back to our pod. We shell into our web server pod. Okay, let's make this a little bit bigger. We do a list block devices. We have 100 gig of a block device already resized from the Kubernetes layer down to the infrastructure layer, and your PVC is resized. And also the cool thing is, because this is done by the CSI driver in the Kubernetes cluster, you don't need to care about file system, partitions and anything. You are ready to go and use the new resized disk here. And this concludes our demo. So I would then stop my screen shares.
I think the word awesome sum it up here because it's really great. So to sum it up really short, GPUs available. What's the A100? Yeah, it's available right now. ARM available right now. If you want to resize your volume, you can do it right now. So this is really cool to see. I love it, but I want to give you the hint out there. If you want to see it twice, think about our recording that we will make and that we will upload on our STACKIT DE webpage, because we know it was technical, but we thought it's the best way to show it like this, because then you really see how it works. So think about this if you want to have a look at it twice. While I'm talking, there one question coming up. Maybe you can answer it because you're already on the stage here. Are the ARM flavors cheaper compared to the AMD and Intel flavors?
This is a question I will answer right out of my head. I guess my product owner will kill me for that. But ARM flavors are cheaper than the AMD flavors. Yes, both of them are work on a non-overcommit basis. So you have an AMD flavor that is already, you buy a CPU and you get that CPU. So it's a dedicated CPU. That's the same for ARM. So you buy 5 cores, for just an example, and you get 5 cores. For Intel, most of our Intel stuff is overcommitted. So there is an overprovisioning factor calculated in, so that in case of heavy workload, you're not guaranteed to have the CPU time for that. And because of the overprovisioning, I think the Intels are still a little bit cheaper. But if you talk about dedicated workload, the ARM is cheaper than the AMD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Great for answering that directly. I think, I say there are more questions in the chat, but by having a look at the time, it would be great if you can answer the rest backstage,
sure.
because there are a lot, like it seems. But thank you. So there's much interest in the topics you showed today. Thank you very much for preparing that. Thank you very much for the effort you took for bringing that up. And yeah, just please have a look backstage.
As the final note, most of the stuff we have in documentation, we will also drop into the chat. Good. And thanks for having us, Chris.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, very cool. And now we come to the next one. It's getting not that technical, but nevertheless, there will be a lot of new things for you. Daniel, you can come upstage for sure. No problem. Great to have you here, and great that you are prepared also some great information for us and also want to demo something. Please introduce yourself first, and then we go into the topic.
Yeah, thanks. Hi. So my name is Daniel. I'm product owner in the Data Service Access team, and In our team, we are responsible for providing you the access to the data services, which are MariaDB, OpenSearch, Redis, RabbitMQ, LogMe, and yes, for these services we have some new features, and of course we want to share that with you.
Oh yeah, I think the audience is curious about that. So please show us directly what you've got.
Yeah, so let's switch to the portal. The first, in cooperation with our portal team, we have worked on a new design and backend for our portal DSA services. And yeah, maybe you already noticed that we have here some new menu entries. So our services are now located directly in the menu on the left side. Before it was under the service menu. And yeah, the big benefit here is that we now using the native API. So that means if you are creating an instance via this menu buttons here, or if you create it over the native API, this is basically the same. So you can see your instances here and in the native API also. Yeah, that's basically the biggest difference here. On the second topic that we have is we have created new service plans, for example, for all our data services except the LogMe. And these services are pretty special. You can find it basically here at the bottom of the list, and they are called high perf plans. These high perf plans are big plans with dedicated CPUs. So if you need very high performance, so on STACKIT you always have a good performance, but if you have the need for a near low latency, near zero latency performance, then you have to choose one of these plans. Yes, one of the last point is a new service that we have released. This is also found here. It's LogMe version 2. LogMe 2 is basically completely different from LogMe 1. This is now based on OpenSearch 2 and FluentD. LogMe 1 is based on Elasticsearch and Logdash and Kibana. So we have here completely new service. I have already created one service for you just to demonstrate some fancy stuff here. So if you have created your service, you can, first of all, you should create some login credentials. This is done by just clicking off the button here, create credentials. And then you get your connection endpoints and also your credentials. And then you can access the OpenSearch dashboard, which is accessible here on this menu point and then on the top. And yeah, I'm already logged in, but usually you will need to provide here your user credentials created before. And then you can start with some sample data here if you don't have any data already in, which will be the most of the cases. So just click, for example, here on add data. You can add more, and then you can click on view data and play around with these diagrams. As you can see, there are a lot of fancy stuff with different kind of interactive statistics, tables, points, flows, maps. So you can customize it with near endless possibilities. Yeah, that's basically all from my side.
Great to see, though there's going also a lot of development here at the DSA side. Great that you showed that to us. Really cool. I had a look at the chat. There's nothing for you at the moment, but also if you will have a look backstage at the questions, then it would be great. Maybe something will come up here. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Yeah.
Bye.
So now we come to our last demo topic. Unfortunately, nothing went wrong so far because this destroys a little bit my transition to the next topic. Julia, will you please come up because our topic is now about STACKIT Help Center and we need it so far. But nevertheless, anyways, we have some improvements also on that side. So I'm really looking forward also to that demo topic. It would be great, Julia, if you can introduce yourself also briefly, and then we can jump into the support stuff. Yes.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Julia Fischer, and I'm from the Service and Support product team. And our central product is the STACKIT Help Center. And I'm so excited to be here today to show you what the team has been working on the past couple of months, or to be more specific, what exactly is new in the STACKIT Help Center.
Okay, Julia, thank you very much. I already know what's coming up. You have a slide for us who will sum it up. I think that will be the entry point, and I'm also interested what it is. Please show it to us.
Right. So let me just share my screen. I just need to, sorry for that delay. There you go. So, all right.
Good.
Then let's take a look at that. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
You now see my screen, I hope. Perfect. All right. Before we dive into what's new in the STACKIT Help Center, I want to tell and then, of course, show you what is new. Or, to be more specific, to first of all, to tell you what is the STACKIT Help Center overall. Well, with the STACKIT Help Center, we provide professional service and support for all kinds of incidents and service requests concerning all our STACKIT products. So in case of disruptions in your environment, you can create a ticket in order to draw attention to your issue. And with this, our support team can help resolve this issue with targeted solutions so you get a fast response and a fast resolution time. So now that we know what the STACKIT Help Center is, I want to tell you what's new in it. So we have 3 big new features, and the first one is you can now select organization and project while creating a ticket. You can share your ticket with your colleagues to distribute the information in it, and you can escalate critical tickets to draw more attention to it. And to show you how that all looks in the Help Center, let me just dive right into it. So, you have 3 different ways to access the STACKIT Help Center. One is via the knowledge base with the link over here. Another one is via the customer portal, and there you just click on the small question mark and then click Help Center. Or you access it directly via URL. And now let's create a ticket together. So let's say I'm the customer Carla Chaos, which you can see in the top right corner at the profile picture, and I want to create an incident issue because I have trouble reaching my server. So the incident issue type is already pre-selected. I click on Raise an Incident, and a new input mask occurs. So here I enter all the necessary informations that the support agent needs to properly work on my ticket. So I enter a summary, cannot reach server. Then I add some more details. I can add an attachment over here if I have one, like a screenshot or a PDF document. Then I need to choose the impact that my issue has and the urgency. And here you see the previously mentioned first new feature, which is I can select my organization and a project name. So if I provide all that, then I'm ready to go. But one thing, the organization and project name is an optional field, but we really highly recommend you fill them out because the more details you provide to our support agents, they are able to help you faster, so your issue is resolved in a faster time. So if I filled everything out, then I click on Create. And then in a few moments, my ticket will be created. And this is the detailed ticket view. And there we see the second new feature, which is the share function. With the share function, I, as a creator, have the possibility to share it with another colleague, so that one can take my issue if I'm ill, on vacation, or due to other absence, and that shared person has the same permissions as me as the creator. So how do I share a ticket? That's pretty simple. You just click on the share link, then enter your colleague's name, which in this case is Carl Clever, select it, then you click on the share button, and voila, here you go. There you see your colleague Carl Clever that has been shared with the tickets. And he has the same permissions as you have as the creator. So to continue our ticket story, let's move to Carl Clever's account. I switched it over here in the top right corner, and I want to see all my requests, and there you see the previously created ticket, which is the cannot reach server ticket. And I want to do something with it because let's say during the day my ticket got more and more critical to my company, so I need to escalate it. And to escalate this ticket, you can do it right here. You click on the Start Escalation button. Then there's a notification, and you confirm that with a click on the Confirm button. And in a few seconds, there, let's reload that, maybe. Start again, start creation, confirm, here you go. Wait a second, and boom, there you have the red hint that says issue escalated. So your ticket has been escalated, that's all you need to do, but what happens with the ticket now? So the support agents get a notification immediately that the ticket status has changed, or that something has changed in the ticket, and that prompts him to pay more attention to it. So this will prioritize your critical tickets, and in the end, it will be processed faster. But we highly ask you to handle this feature with care, because the support team does its best in processing your ticket as fast as they can. So please use the escalation only if it's really necessary for you. And yeah, that's it. These are our 3 big new features that are still or now available in the Help Center for every customer and for every issue type. And if you have any suggestions or feedback for us, reach out to the support team. We are always happy to help. Thank you.
Julia, very cool to hear. I like to see that in the STACKIT Help Center. Organizations can be added now. We can share tickets now. Escalation of the tickets is possible. So cool. It's everything about making the life for the customer more easy, I would say.
Yes.
So great to see that. So thank you also very much for your professional and pleasant demonstration here. Please stay tuned for questions as well at backstage. And yeah, thank you very much, Julia.
All right. Thank you.
Cool out there. This was so far with our demo topics, but we are not at the end. Now we come to the point where we have a little bit of an outlook. The change on the stage has already happened. Matthias Sutter is here on the stage. Matthias, you're Chief Product Owner of STACKIT, so the spectators out there will surely get some news about what's next at STACKIT, where is STACKIT heading to with its platform. It would be great if you can give us a little bit of an outlook from a high-level point of view.
Yeah. Hello together. My name is Matthias Sutter. I am the Chief Product Owner from STACKIT Cloud. And yeah, when we talk about the high-level things or what we're caring about, so we have a vision. And our vision is to have an independent Europe digital leading. So that's what we really focusing on and that we are committed. And our point is that we're bringing a digital sovereign platform that is the center part of this vision. What means that? That empowers the customers, user, that they have the full transparency and control over their data. And that's the point that we said that's the core to enable later on a true digital ecosystem that everybody can join and that fulfill the vision.
Yeah, great. I think I got it from a high-level point of view, but what does it mean exactly when you're talking about enabling customers to have transparency and control over their data?
Yeah, that's the point with the data sovereignty, what we said. So we see 3 pillars here. The first one is reliability. Reliability means for us that the customer and users have guaranteed access to their data, even geopolitical issues or economical crisis happens. And that means no foreign governments can log out. And that's important, that they not can log out the customer from their data. Or maybe you have issues with your provider that they go bankruptcy or they were sold and they have another business model maybe that are not so good for your data. So that's the first point. The second pillar what we have is confidentially and integrity of data. So that means we ensure that there is no unauthorized access to your data or somebody else or your data. And we log out these parties that maybe also think they have limited access to your data. So, for example, foreign governments and agency, by their law, have the access made to your data, and we can ensure that this not happened in the frame outside of Europe. And the third pillar is openness. And with openness, we mean we will help you to minimize the vendor logins. So you are able to migrate your data and your workload from A to B, and if you are willing that. And that is what we see as very crucial, and we focus on that by using open source and open standards. That is really no vendor login necessary to use the STACKIT Cloud. And all of that should happen in a, of course, secure, sustainable, and provable manner. And provable means for us that we doing certifications and testations to show you that we really focusing that. One, of course, the ISO 20001 certification that we have now a couple of years. We also do the recertification this year. We're upgrading to update to newer versions. As well, we're caring about C5 certification that we now reaching end of this year, that we also having that. And of course, we taking a look what's a good thing that we can prove you that we doing that in the right manner. Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot. So beside that detailed explanation, I think there are really 2 important things. One thing we have for longer now, so it's the ISO certification, but the BSI C5, I think it's a important thing to mention twice. So, but great that you sum it up so all together. So having all this in mind. What's next in the product development? Maybe you can also give us a little bit of an outlook.
Yeah, I try that. So we have 2 big things that we're caring about. One is the customer centricity. Currently, we build a lot of components that enables customer to build something on STACKIT. For example, that they can run their modern workload to STACKIT and so on. So that's we starting. And now we're thinking, okay, we can make it user easier to use the cloud. First, of course, how I can do the first steps, and we see a lot of demands that customers starting with their backup in the cloud to say, okay, I have something on-prem and I want to move that and get rid of my local backup environment, and that is what we made in the last month. That we also now a certified backup destination provider for major vendors like Dell and Veritas. So that's the one point. And from this data, we help the customer to use them, to integrate them in other workload systems, and go forward also to extract later on the data and do something with that. So that's a direction what we're caring about. So to support user on their journey in the cloud to make it much more easier. Another thing that we're caring about is to gain security by adding new and reliability as well. That's important. By adding new regions. So in middle end of next year, we will start up the next region and go in the model that we have more region in the future that offering the same services what you currently expect in the region 1 that we currently have. And as well, for security, we're investigating in new functionalities. One, for example, is confidential computing, that we say, okay, you as a customer have the full control, and you can really log out everybody else that is not in your system, as well, the cloud provider as well. So STACKIT has totally no access anymore to your data, and that's the technology with confidential computing. That is also what we want to provide on an easier manner to use. So that's the point here, and everything what we do around in an open source standardized product way that we're doing as well. We will increase with next new products that are on component level that supporting the use cases as well. You can expect a lot of new cool functionalities in the product that makes the life easier. So that's what we're focusing the next months.
Yeah, that's a lot for the next months, but I think very important things are, and it's going into the right direction to fulfill our vision at the end. Very cool, Matthias. Thank you for bringing that information and that outlook to us. Now, I think with that, we're coming to the end. It was a pleasure for us to presenting you the outcomes. And we are really committed to help you to achieve your goals out there. And for that, I told you, we're interested in your opinion and in your feedback. So I want to remember to the survey that we have provided for you. Please take part in this and give us a little bit of feedback. And I really want explicitly appreciate all your hard work out there, you STACKITeers. It was great what you did in the last weeks and the last months. Continue by going with that. Then we will have the next system demo again with that much new functionality and features for our customers. And for you customers out there, we hope we provided you with valuable insights and give you a good understanding about what we are developing, how we're doing the things. So going from API, give you directly first things available, going into our portal, enhance it for you, make it easy for you as a customer. And we hope it goes into the right direction. Yeah, then thank you for taking part. We wish you a good rest of the day, a good weekend. And I finish with that. I just say thank you and see you next time. Thank you very much. Goodbye. We're out.